Welcome, Jack Dorsey, founder and chairman of Twitter. And Jack, you invented Twitter. And how did the idea come up? Did you have it in your head all the time? Or how did it come
It
up?
it was a very slow evolution. It started when I was 15. I was fascinated by how cities work, and I taught myself how to put maps on a screen so I could visualize how they work. And then I got into dispatch software from that. Couriers, taxis, ambulances, police trucks, fire trucks. They all roam about a metropolis, and they're constantly reporting where they are and what they're doing. So that became my work for a while until about 2000, and I realized that this is awesome, but it's missing one element, and that's the citizens. It's my friends, and I wanted to go out in the world and walk around and report, what I was doing and what I was seeing, and share that, and also have all my friends in my pocket. So I tried to create a system in 2000, and the timing was just off. The technology was not right, and it wasn't until about 2006 with Odeo, a company I was working at. SMS got really big in the United States 10 years after Europe. And once I saw that technology, I knew that was it. I mean, this is the technology to carry this new thing. So we built the system in 2 weeks, and the company fell in love with it. So we continued to work on it, and it just progressed from there.
You talked about the right timing. How important is it to be right on time with your idea?
I think it's really important to recognize timing and to have a plan B for when time is not right.
Okay.
I think this is an idea I've loved for a long time, and it's not going away. And you just have to you have to be comfortable with being patient to set it aside for a bit when you realize that it's not ready yet, and then pick it up when it is, and work really hard to make sure you can see it in the world.
How important is it that you love your idea? Could you also
Very
make an
important.
idea successful that you don't really love, but you think it's going to be successful because just for the sake of it, or?
I'm sure you could. That would be hard for me personally. I
Okay.
can't work on things that I don't fully love and am deeply passionate about. So for me, it has to be there. That love, that feeling has to be there. Otherwise, you're always distracted, and you always want to do something else. So it makes things easier because you have a natural drive.
What did your friends say when you first presented the idea of Twitter or the concept? Did they believe in it right from the start?
Well, the first group of friends in 2000 thought it was the stupidest thing ever,
Okay.
which is fine. The timing was off. But in 2006, my co-founders found it pretty interesting, and I think one of the reasons they did is they came from a blogging background.
Okay.
So they understood this medium, and they understood the two elements that we were bringing to it, which is more immediacy, more real time, and then constraining the message down to 140 characters or a fixed post instead of something that just expands unabated. So uh, it was easy for me to convince them of it, but it was still very hard to explain why someone would want to do this. But as soon as they saw it, as soon as they participated in it, they got it.
All right. So the concept of less is more was actually just a side effect of your earlier product, right? So it was not that you had the idea, okay, let's make less more and let's just limit it to a couple of
Well,
characters.
my own personality is I always seek the simplest things.
Okay.
So I've always tried to minimize and get to an essence of something. So even even way back when, it was always about constraining the message and short form updates in real time. Those are two concepts that I love. I love real time systems. It's a big thing for me. So that just happened naturally.
What was the hardest part? Were there any hard parts of founding Twitter? Were there any?
Absolutely.
Really? Yeah.
Scaling the infrastructure. We still have problems today with that. So, it's a service that got a lot of traffic right away, and a lot of attention. And we initially weren't ready for it, so we would go down all the time. And we got better and better and better. And and then we got more and more traffic, and that brought us down. So it's a constant evolution and iteration that we have to go through, and for anything that has that sort of attention or is successful, you're going to go through the same thing. It's very hard to predict the usage. If we predicted the usage we have today, we would have designed a completely different system, and that would have slowed us down, so we would not have the usage we have today. So everything happened for the right reasons, but it was very hard.
What do you think? When is it time to give up as a founder? You said it's sometimes hard because not all of your friends believe in your idea, but you pursued the idea and it became hugely successful. And are there also points where you say, okay, now everyone says it's crap, and let's just give up? Should you do that, or should you pursue when you believe in an idea?
I think you should definitely pursue in something you believe in. I think it's really important to be self-critical, though, and recognize when something is not going to work out. And oftentimes, that happens when you expose it to other people.
Okay.
For me, I exposed it initially to other people, and it just didn't work out. So I waited, and it came back up. I wasn't pursuing it. But it did come back up, and it came back up naturally, and then it happened. So I think the most important thing is for any idea is to get it outside of your head and start working on it and start iterating and show it to other people and let other people play with it. And immediately you will know if it's going to be something or if it's something that needs a lot more work or needs to be put away.
Sometimes people are really restrictive with publishing their ideas.
Yeah.
So you say, okay, don't be restrictive. Go out, show it to the world.
Yeah.
So that's the best option for you.
Absolutely. Show people, get people playing on it, and get people using it, because
People could copy you. That's the thing that people say.
Well, that's the thing, but there is a risk there, certainly, but you wanna believe that you have the arc, that you have the momentum, that you have the ideas to take it farther than potentially anyone else, if you're creating a business like that. So I would never worry about competitors directly. I'd worry only about competing with myself, or the lack of cohesion in an organization. Everything should be focused on the product and making it the best every single day. And what happens from that, the fallout from that, happens, but at least you put in your best work.
Okay, and the last question, what could you tell young founders that just want to create their business? Are there general things that you could tell them?
I think the biggest thing is to get started immediately.
Okay.
Just start. If you have an idea, just get it out of your head, draw it, write it, program it. Get some friends together and really start thinking about it. Don't live in an isolation chamber just inside your head, because the thing about working with an idea in your head is that it looks like the most amazing idea, and then you keep iterating in your head, and you're like, oh yes, that would be great if only I had this, or if only I had this. And then you get into this cycle of excuses, and then the idea never happens.
Okay.
So the sooner you can put it out on paper and really work with it and see it outside of yourself, the better.
All right, thanks a lot, Jack.
Thank you.